So crafting can be expensive. I mean, these days you have Cricuts and Cameos and Copic markers and stamp tools, a lot of which are a little pricey. And it's ironic because when you craft, you do it with the intention to do it yourself, which in its very nature should save you money. But sometimes you find yourself just spending and accumulating, and it's pretty much taken over one half of your whole bedroom. Well, I'm here today to show you that crafting does not have to be expensive. I've got a couple videos on my channel already that demonstrate that you can do wonderful cards, wonderful handmade cards with minimal supplies. In this video, I'm going to take it a step further. So sit back, subscribe, and watch while I make DIY greeting cards with only items I shopped for at the dollar store. Okay, we are coming up on the craft aisle, finally. Do some, foil die cut letters. That might come in handy. All these are preschool craft type items. Double-sided tape. Techie glue. This is actually kind of name brand. Another name brand item. Glue dots for Dada. Okay, I'm going to need some paper. So come to this aisle. Paper. Ooh, glitter paper. But it's not really colors that go with that blue I had. I'll keep looking. Foam board, legal paper, notebook paper, more notebook paper. I think their cardstock's very limited here. Looks like we got paint. Tempera paint, craft storage, stickers, loads and loads of stickers, even foam letter stickers, and green, orange, and yellow. I come here a lot for my son's craft supplies. Baker's twine, glitter, glass beads, sequins. Okay, this looks promising. We've hit the googly-eyed mother lode. Any kind of googly-eyed you want. Black ones, colored ones. What are these? Beads, lots and lots of beads. More paint. More glitter glue. Liquid adhesive. More glitter. Scissors. I still have not found a good cardstock. They have a bunch of canvases here, but no thick cardstock. There's no good cardstock. There's notebook paper, but no like paper. So I've come to the wrapping paper aisle to improvise. And look what I found. This, whoops, is falling down. Whoops, okay, fix that. It's not exactly cardstock, but this will be the thickest paper I find here. That's aside from like poster board. This will go well with my foil letters and sequins so far. Okay, so I've decided I'm making a shaker card, but I cannot find any acetate. I don't think they have any acetate. How dare you? So we're gonna have to improvise. This is the closest I can find to cardstock, and it's not an obnoxiously sized poster board, so it'll have to do. And then since I'm making a shaker card, these are my options for the acetate. Either loop bags or a magnifying sheet, whatever that is. This one's kind of flimsy. This is kind of weird, so we'll see how they work. Hi, it's me, JD, and welcome back to the voiceover. I am back at my craft desk with my dollar store haul, and I'm just gonna empty it out to see what I have to work with. And this Dollar Tree bag is reusable because I live in California and we have a law that says it has to be. Anyway, so we've got poster board, which stands in for my cardstock, and if that doesn't work, I'll go to the gift wrap bags that comes in a foil and a stripe pattern that I'll just cut up. I will attempt to make a shaker card with these sorts of materials. One is a weird magnifying thing, and the other are treat bags. For adhesives, I've got a variety. I've got glue dots, I've got Eileen's tacky glue, however she pronounces her name, and I've got some double-sided tape. There weren't any stamps or dies at the dollar store, so we're going with some die-cut letters. Work is already done for me. And then for embellishments and my shaker card, I've got some fabulous sequins. Now let's get to the card making. I like the pattern on the gift wrap bag, so I decided to use those for my card base. I'm going to start by just breaking open this gift bag so it can get down to a lay flat piece of paper so I can cut that down and work with it better. The paper seen here is not as thick as cardstock, but it's thicker than copy paper, so it'll have to do. Anyway, I did that with the other gift wrap bag as well, and I just cut them down to size that will fit in my paper trimmer. Yes, I know I'm using paper trimmer, and I know I did not get a paper trimmer at the dollar store. However, I wanted these dollar store cards to have a chance at looking good, and clean, straight cuts make handmade cards look good. I believe I'm still honoring the dollar store challenge, so only my scissors and my trimmer are the things that are not from the dollar store. And one reason I really wanted to use my paper trimmer was that I knew I was going to be making a shaker card without dies. Now you can do this, but you're not gonna have the easiest time creating a straight rectangular frame, as is the case here. So from the scraps of that gift bag, I measured and cut a rectangular piece that would serve as the center for my frame. And then I'll just use that as a guide to cut out my actual shaker frames from my gift wrap card bases. Thus, the paper trimmer was extremely important because it enabled me to cut out my frame without damaging that gift wrap card, the gift wrap cardstock, if you will. That's not cardstock, it's just really thin. And while I have my paper trimmer out, I'm going to go ahead and cut out some note cards for my card bases. I just used that stack of poster board paper that was a little smaller, and then I'll cut down some note cards that are for A2 size cards. And since this is a dollar store challenge, I cannot use my scoring board or bone folder, so I'll go with the next best thing, which are my hands. Now let's start building the shaker card. I'm going to work with my faux acetate here, which is this magnifying sheet. What is this for? Does anyone know? I have no idea. I mean, it looks cool, I guess, but I don't know what you would use it for. Like a word search, maybe? A kid's word search? Anyway, so I'm like playing around with it, figuring out if I can even cut this down without distorting it or ruining the effect. And then it is, forget it. Goodie bag cellophane it is. This material is super, super thin, so I don't know if it's going to hold up. But the positive is that it already kind of comes in this pouch-like, it already comes as a pouch because it is a pouch. And I thought that'd be an easy way to fill up my shaker and not have to worry about, completely sealing it. I'll trim my little shaker pouch down to size and then start putting my pieces together. As soon as I unraveled or unrolled this double-sided tape, I realized it wasn't very sticky at all. So I decided to switch over to glue to at least build on my card base with that. And in that way I can move it around and wiggle it if I need to have it centered more. Next, I'll fill this shaker pouch with these really pretty sequins from the dollar store. So I'm impressed with the color selection of sequins. This is a really nice range of bold jewel tones that can be used year-round for handmade cards. And I'll just fill that shaker. And then since there's only one side of this pouch open, I thought, the easiest way to seal this with what I have from the dollar store is going to be that unsticky double-sided tape. And I don't know why I decided to put it on the inside of the pouch, maybe because I thought it'd be a cleaner look if it was sealed from the inside. So I'm just tearing pieces of double-sided tape and trying to finagle it in there so it seals my pouch from the inside. But I knew this wasn't very strong double-sided tape, so in the back of my mind I should have realized that this wasn't going to hold. But as I say, hindsight is 20/20, and at least I tested it before I attached it, because... Okay, take 2, and this time I'm sealing the outside of the shaker pouch. In fact, I'm doubling up on this double-sided tape because it's clearly not very effective for shaker cards. I'm starting to have a new appreciation for my craft supplies. To attach this shaker pouch to my card base, I decided to use the glue dots because I haven't used them yet. And since they're name branded, they should work a little better. The thing is, they're glue dots, and so they take some time to adhere, especially when you want to adhere a giant shaker pouch. So I'm just going around and adding dots at the corners, the sides, wherever I can fit it in. Get it in where I fit it in. After putting all of those glue dots on there, I'm going to attach my frame very carefully. Thank God for the straight lines, because they kind of act like a guide to where to place my frame. And now it's time to add my sentiment. And since these are huge letters, it only fit one word on top of this card. So it's going to be H-I high. I wanted a little bit of wiggle room when I adhered these letters to this cellophane, so I decided to go with the tacky glue and just maybe put something on top of it to help let it dry. And when it is mostly dry, I decided to attach it to my note card, but it wasn't all the way dry because the letters are starting to peel up a little, so no problem. I'll just push them down a little more, and I'll set it aside to really dry while I work on the next card. After getting a better feel for these crafty materials and learning my lesson from the last card, we're going to go with clean and simple for this card. So I'm going to take that scrap that I did use as a guide for a shaker card and use that as the centerpiece for this next card. Now you would think with all these letters that I should form a coherent word to put on my card. But the thing is, the letters are so big that I can only form short words, and there weren't enough letters to form what I wanted to form. I wanted to try hey, I wanted to try hugs, but they only gave me one H. So I was like, okay, maybe we'll do yes, yes, congratulations. But, the cool kids aren't saying yes, they're saying yes. So let's change it to yes. Actually, let's make it even cooler by saying yes with 2 S's. I'll have to arrange these differently and turn my cards sideways, no biggie. And then I'll take some of that tacky glue, which I don't know why they call it tacky glue since it's not tacky. It does stick eventually. Anyway, so I'll just glue all of these die cut letters down, and while that's drying, I'll go ahead and adhere some of these dollar store sequins. I just put some of that glue right onto my glass mat, and then I'm going to take a sequin, dip it in that glob, and then stick it onto my card front and set the whole thing aside to dry. And now to recap these handmade dollar store cards, I think I did okay with the challenge. And when I said challenge, this really was a challenge to work with supplies that maybe aren't necessarily meant for card making, but I kind of found a way to make it work. Are they the prettiest cards you guys have ever seen? It's okay. Y'all can say no. Won't hurt my feelings. But it's understandable knowing that I work with dollar store supplies. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with the dollar store, but there's a reason why I like to shop at the smaller craft companies. I think they really take a lot of time and effort to put out quality products. And yes, they are more expensive than dollar store products and supplies, but sometimes, you do get what you pay for. Except there is an exception. The sequins and the glue held up really well. So I would definitely, if I were in need of cheap sequins or maybe a smaller container of glue, these would definitely work. But you guys let me know. Is there a dollar store product for card making that you really recommend? Let me know down in the comments. And that does it for me, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then you should be on the lookout for another dollar store video coming up shortly.